Hello, hello, hello. Alright, it's about a 10-second delay it seems, so it shouldn't be too bad. Alright. Let's see. Oh, oops. Sorry. What's a nice regal thing? Regal thing. Oh my god, they made it so much less crazy. Just civil abilities and... that's nice. I'll just be super strong. It's how many ability, like, and so instead of having like increasing your pyrokinetic or whatever, it's how much it affects how many abilities you can learn. So can I pick skills? Guess not. Do I want comeback kid? I feel like, well, that should be okay. This is pretty cool. Probably this guy. Alright, here we go. Let's hope I don't shit the bed.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
What a way to wake. Wooden boards and iron shackles. The Divine Order, a subpar cranium, that. Human, no wonder.
I'll need to write to headquarters right away. the murderer take him into this room?
The indignity. I'm supposed to send people down to the dungeons, not the other way round.
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
Oh, my, this hair. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
Did the murderer take him into this
Currents
room?
of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it, see? The collar's function. It neuters you, of sorts. Makes you unable to cast source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's. Why? Because we're at sea, of course.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end.
He seems quite averse to spending time with the
You've been collared and you've been told why.
Yes, this is a rare kind of magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away.
Good God! There's been a murder here!
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwoken followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid them.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your... Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. If you have nothing to hide, I'm sure it'll go just fine. Bloody lizard.
A young Magister stands pale.
Yes, this is a rare kind of magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away.
A no doesn't become a yes over time, you know.
I know it.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
Hello, Mr.
I'll
Bitch.
give you that
An
knuckle
elf
if you
sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
She shakes her head.
Game for one, I'm afraid. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, your hunger gnawed and gnawed at you until you could stab. Finding the cellar door ajar, instead of trying to escape, you snuck into the pantry like a cop. There you stood as a Magister walked in, still hungry, feeling a mighty fool.
She pats you on the shoulder,
There, don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with— I don't lick and tell. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mes.
Nice.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves are...
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his...
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murder...
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck.
He pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an... Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who stared...
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same. but...
What are you conspiring about over there? You!
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet.
Name!
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible.
Away with you! What?
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips, as he...
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
I've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
The young woman seems about to raise her hand, but quickly remembers herself and nods pointedly at the excited children.
Who indeed? Why, my name is, Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb.
The children break out into giggles.
I say, it is.
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good at...
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? Guess you aren't a creative type, are you, Chief? I say they're one and the same. Nope. Trying not to find anything out, either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. As quickly as they came, the clouds click.
Good luck, Chief.
I'm trying to concentrate. They don't care about us. We're like...
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He reaches out, flicks a finger against one of yours.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
7 years? What an infinitesimal period! Why would anyone... Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How... difficult. You have my apologies, Lizard. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once. Perhaps. Perhaps not. Take this book, for example. I understand all of it, and yet none of it makes sense. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Most unusual. And if it's not too rude to suggest, not much of an answer. No, I want to know about the Celestial. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to...
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't care. The Magisters are out for blood. You saw the body, didn't you? Big bruiser like you ought to be able to take a...
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but...
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
That right? I always knew you'd turn.
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and...
You look like a boy to me. Listen if you're interested, or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates.
And?
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
That isn't anger. It's...
He cocks his ear to the other side.
Anticipation. She senses. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that. Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other...
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which burned my beard. That means if we'd been travelling for... Yes! Only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard,
No indeed, boy. But
the dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard.
that'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
He continues stroking his beard.
If you'll be pardoning me...
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
I'm about to crank it up to 11 here.
Junk. Fasten tight.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
My prince.
The cook bows slightly and wipes her hands on her gruel-stained garb.
Forgive me, Your Highness. I didn't expect... Well, anyway, whether I had more than...
Panic swamps her eyes, and she hurriedly returns.
Your Highness, yeah.
You sure about that?
Your Highness.
Here to register, sir. Good. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, sir. But we all wear what... You head on in now. But...
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to shoot her kill.
But I reassure you, and you shut up.
What on earth is the matter? Murder most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Surely.
Do you? Well, perhaps
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
the most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
Oh.
What's happened? Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. Damn! That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards! Thank the gods! By divine grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too? Go! Do what you must.
Bishop Alexander, the smug little tyke that thinks he can imprison
And
a
you thought
prince.
Rivellon was
How
fine.
comical.
Get on with you. Just leave me be.
Hello? You said there's a current communion you could show? Okay.
Something's pounding on the hearth.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is, a warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The crimson drains from your hand, and you are left numb. moment you touch it doesn't budge.
The ancients, I need to get off this ship. No!
Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes, to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear? Had to open your big mouth, didn't you?
The Magister lies on the floor. The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious. The Magister lies on the...
Get yourself up! There's a boat! Wait! Voidwoken!
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
These beardless bugs won't sink a ship on my watch. When there might be more. We need to move.
Oh wait, we see something. We don't know what.
One's dead than alive. Let's head above decks.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
humble journey. I suppose I'm the lone survivor. Which is entirely appropriate, if you ask me.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown.
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards. What's a supera?
He shrugs and continues the game with the mirror, inspecting inside his nostrils and around.
Sauce? They told me I'm a sorcerer.
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard.
I don't see any sauce on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone goes. They know we can't leave the island, and it's a lot nicer out here than outside. But you didn't die. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. There isn't anywhere safe, you'll see. You can stay out here with me if you want. You don't seem that scary.
It's broken. I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. This pig's bladder was on the ship. A black cat. A herald of wisdom in my home.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, its eyes clear, and it shakes its head.
It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat. I'm sure glad you went back to save the others. Saw one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore.
I repeat myself?
I know nothing of any of that.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, lizard!
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the void, Dallas.
Yes, Your Holiness.
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
Don't you hear?
I can't wait all day. I told him I'd known exactly, didn't I?
What's this? I found something. One must put in due effort if one is to reap the proper reward. wonder where this leads.
You walk up to a skeleton unlike any you have ever seen before. His skull seems to be approaching. You hear a profane
bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh. Perhaps...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at...
Damnation! That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor? Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Oh. It's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected. Oh, yes. An exceptionally common, but exceptionally valuable commodity. A face. A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his skull. I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the... I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Because my own was stolen from me. And the idea... Oh, get away, monster! You are simple beasts. And you simply do not... So, if I am to traverse this land, I will need a mask to disguise my features. Oh, please. It is far too complicated. It requires more finesse than can be achieved by... No, but once I have extracted the required material from this specimen, and then I can return to finding my people. I cannot be the last Eternal, but the rest of them are somewhat absent. At least from this realm. As for the others, well, there is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers. I suppose, circumstances being what they are, it could be advantageous. You seem more at ease in this world than I. Excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps you notice... Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality. But being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you require for this enterprise of yours? I could do that with one hand behind my spine. Splendid. Very well.
Did you see them? You did, right? Those claws. Wonder what's behind the masks, too. Can't be pretty. That, Magister, that was Bishop Alexander. Lead. Ha! More the fool you. Day is night. Now why don't you move along and settle in? A Magister will...
He hasn't changed a bit. Always late.
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. A kin, is it? A traitor cannot be murdered. A traitor can only receive their due. Doubly so for a lizard traitor. It's a pity she couldn't die twice. The Divine Order's all that stands between everything you see and a void woe, believe it or don't. The Divine Order doesn't need it.
Disgusting like threats?
Grave God, will you quit dragging this on? Playing that hard, Lindsay. Just...
You! Help me teach this beast. He must respect. If not, he comes for you next.
Respect? Huh. Someone's got to keep this place running. Griff can't do it for free. Why'd you got him?
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment, before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you. You two ought to be thanking your lucky gods it's us, and not the Magisters enforcing round it. Now come on, elf. If you make me say it again, there's gonna be trouble.
And neither will I.
We got a system, and it looks like you don't want to fit in.
Indigestion, or is it... indigestion, or is it... Oh, God. Not...
Follow me, before more of them trouble us.
I've an errand to run around here first. I'll catch up with you there later.
Remember, past the kitchens, down to the beach, inside the caves there. There is a safe place.
As you approach the blacksmith, you feel a bony hand on your arm. Fane leans in and whispers in your ear.
If it would be acceptable, I have an inquiry for this human. It is... And if it would not be acceptable, well, that would render this entire conversation rather...
Fane approaches the blacksmith and quietly speaks to her. You can't overhear much, but he seems to be gesturing towards her head an awful lot. Fane's words are quiet, but you hear the blacksmith repeat, "Face ripper," in shock. She slowly starts to back away.
What is it with creeps like you and Master Niles? I told him to slither back to his dungeon, and you can get too, freak!
Fane backs away, scratching his head. It seems that didn't go as he'd expected. He is lost in thought, though. She must have said something he found interesting. Amidst a crowd of screws, bolts, and scraps of metal,
And what you after? Get bent.
a grin cracks her
Sure thing. I ain't. Just seeing how it's made. She's clever.
She looks up.
You looking to buy something? Found it in the scrap heap not so long ago. We used to know each other back in the day, you know. Dallas and I. Never knew her to be much of a wrench head back in the day, but once she joined the Order, she started turning out all manner of...
She nods once.
You looking to buy something? Or do you just want to waste my time with a whole lot of quid? Oh, I don't know. She was a sweet soul. Quiet. Loved her family. People do change. Magic and metal, like most of Dallas's designs. Metal keeps it locked. Magic makes it work. That's all I... For you? Hell no. Worthy is exactly the right word. You know, someone who's proven himself might earn my time of day. Speaking of, you haven't. So buy or shove off. All manner of things. Who in their right mind would think of a thing like this? Leave me. Go. Get away. Get back. At least wait till I've croaked my...
She groans in pain, refusing or unable to acknowledge you.
So this...
What a crumbling disaster.
You come to fight. You come to prove yourself. You come to be worthy. There can only be one, and you have but one chance.
She scoffs.
To prove you are the one. Never mind. The one does not ask such a question. Good. Who aids you? Choose wisely. Whether you fail or succeed, you do not fight more than once.
Who will be next to fight?
Warfare is worship.
entertaining.
You are not the one. Pity.
Oh no. Oh no.
Each day...
You're too puny. Ain't nothing gonna stop.
There's no shame in loss. We will
I'm the
get
only one with the
revealed
guts.
one.
I deserve.
Surely you have one.
Hey, I heard about you. Had a go in the arena, didn't ya? Ah, too bad. And here I thought everyone won their first match. Did you speak to the bird? You oughta. I don't think that's the last you'll be seeing of him. There are those of us who believe he's the key.
Worse than war rations, these.
Psst. Hey! You're a little light in your trunk, ain't you? Who could blame you with the garbage they got for sale? Why don't you take a gander at the goodies I got? Stuff you won't find anywhere else in camp. Procured by special means. Boss don't mind where the gold comes from, long as he gets his cut. Have a look, why don't you? Your cash is plenty good here. Let's just say folks leave here, but they don't seem to take their effects. Maybe I happen to know where everything ends up.
Ain't fit for beasts. Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much. Worse than war rations, these.
What the...
Only the finest, you know.
Worse than war rations, these.
Griff is slowly, methodically peeling the skin from a potato.
What? Who's asking?
He smirks and holds...
I'm listening.
He points the tip of his blade at the grisly sight of the elf hunched over, clutching his knees in the cage.
I solve my own problems. Sure, have a look. Good stuff, huh? Thugs! Look at it, they'll cure you of your sauce. Nightshade will cure you of an head. Can't help you there. If I could.
When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sorcerers?
Watch yourself. What do you want, freak? Out the fort? To where then? The death swamps or the ocean brimming with void-woken? Fat chance of getting more than... Make it quick. Hell if I know. Don't rightly know if... Sure. Pal of mine made it as far as the Hollow Marshes even. They dragged... I never seen one myself, but me cousin up in Gore said one appeared from...
The kin's brow knits together, then apart and back again. He seems to be swimming deep in his thoughts and doesn't look up as you approach.
The ground. I don't know what you... I'm just trying to work it out. What happened? Recognize you? Of course I recognize you. You're the Red Prince. That's about my mind. What else, kin? I'm wondering why. All of this. Source. The Voidwoken. The Divine... Where's that, then? The egg? We'll go back to the egg. No doubt the two are related. Perhaps if we can reverse the cause of our misfortunes, we can stop this madness before it goes any further.
Say, I don't know the ancient empire that is. Got nothing spicy enough to keep my mind off this place. Blimey, must be real fun parties you throw back home. Slave folk like myself.
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you quite alone?
The man scowls at you.
I thought I might see if you wanted to get out of this place. Though maybe I ought to ask someone who isn't a prissy fop. I have a plan. A good one. But I need a partner. I've been here a long time. Longer than anyone else. I have a way out of here. It won't be easy, and I need a partner. Are you interested? Oh, noble. But after them...
Good luck with your friends, though. Enjoy your last days in good company, won't you? Change your mind about my offer yet? Attaboy. Who wouldn't?
The plan's simple, completely foolproof. I have a spell. There's an artifact that you can use to teleport me out of this place. Then I can use my spell to free you in turn. This item, though, it's in quite an unfortunate location. It's found its way into a nest of crocodilians on a secluded beach nearby. Here, give me your map and I'll show you where to go. I'm glad you're of such a mind. Get that artifact, and you and I...
So void workers are attracted to source. But why? When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sources?
Mummy's right here. Where are you? Please, I'm sorry, but you must leave. My baby's terrified of lizards. She may be hiding from you even now. Irma! Irma, darling, are you here? No, please. She's terrified of your kind. I don't... Please, I'm sorry, but you must... No, no. Irma? Please. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Irma's her name. She's about as high as your hip. I'm sick with worry. Completely sick. And no one in this... I last saw her just here, near 3 days ago. She was playing with her little dog. This place turns people cold. Cold and wicked. That... Yes, of course. Here, you should take it with you. When you find her, give her the doll and tell her, Mummy says this is for her little chicken. And it's time to come.
She soaks up a steady...
She ought to come with you then. You are an...
A fella can't hear himself think with all this racket. You hear that, Farah? You gotta cut that out. What's happened to you? I had sympathy at first. A mum calling after her dead child's a sad sight. Might well be, but that ain't helping either of us sleep. Known her all my life. Her little girl Irma, too. Farah was a straight... What else do you call hollering after a ghost? That child of hers she's shouting after's been dead and buried a month over. Killed by a void woken back in our own village. And there ain't no amount of hollering that'll bring...
Where are you, darling?
I don't think I ain't watching.
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe.
Don't touch me. You're too close. This collar, this place, it's squeezing the life from me. I can't. How is it possible? 1 minute you're in the...
Her hands move again to her throat. She seems to try to make space.
Griff's right hand, Topsy girl.
Right hand, my winker. Fella's got more right hands than an octopus.
Looky here, mates. A fresh face. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? Chuff to you, Chief. Here are your cards.
You glance at your hand. 2 purple monarchs. A hard hand to beat.
Quite the hand, Freshy. Unfortunately, 2 is less than 5, and that's how many purples I've got. I reckon that makes me the winner. I'm sure the Reds told ya. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Don't think your connections will get here in time to save you if you don't pay up now. Go on then. Whatever pennies you've got in your pocket ain't worth my breath. But don't you go telling another inmate, but you wouldn't guess it. Runs this place like he's Dallas herself. Shouldn't be too hard.
Huh? What you doing here? Didn't Griff already take one of them ears of yours?
Bloody freaks.
What is it, weirdo? Your coin's gathering in a cave to the east. Head there if you want to keep your face in one piece. Whatever.
I'm not mad, darling. I'm not mad. Sweetheart?
The Magister stares at the ground.
The Divine is dead. The Bishop is all we have left. Yes, our Lord Bishop is huge.
Her voice trails to silence.
I do wish Alexander would ascend sooner rather than later. They say his powers are not developing as they should. It's quite the pickle. I wish it every night, more than anything.
Bolted on there tight, ain't it?
Evan rolls his sleeves back down and casually wipes some...
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got...
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and shakes it, hard.
Say, you don't look all that busy now that we're safely on dry land. I could use someone to watch my back. I've just got a small errand to run. And then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here, while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place? The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. 2 heads are better than 1. And when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better. Everyone needs to make a living.
The little black cat trailing you hisses at him, hair raising a ridge along its back. Without batting an eyelid, the man rumbles a lupine growl. The cat hides behind your leg, mewling. He shoots you a flinty look, all...
Lone wolves only share such information.
He grins.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide battle strategies. Survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye, then nods back at you.
Right you are. Lead the way.
Hello. You gonna pray all day, buddy? Who in their right mind would think of a thing like this? Where's the oil? Is that indigestion or is it... Oh God, not now.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you.
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me. Me? I know who I am. At least I think I do. Sometimes it feels like... No, I know who I am. A head? No.
The cat shakes its head, as if trying to wake up.
Huh? Yeah, fine.
The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his... The cat's eyes are clouded... The cat's eyes are...
Hey, I know you.
Losa, the dark-eyed jokester you met aboard the ship, waves enthusiastically.
Back then, I was the prince, right? Nothing like a nice tentacle slap across the moor to set the tone for the week, eh? How'd you escape? I saw you fall. We all did. When we get out of this place, I owe you. So you managed to swim to safety, is that it? What about when you were in the water? Didn't hear anything unusual, did you? I heard the same thing. Do you know what this means? It means I'm not the only...
Losa's voice catches in her throat. The joy drains from her. She is stock-still, waxy-skinned, her eyes dark. Greyish-black veins run from her eyes down her cheeks. Her head snaps to you mechanically, and her eyes lock with yours. Dark pupils' light suddenly flashes back into her face. The grey veins drain to pinkish flesh, and her whole body relaxes.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Yeah, it was a shipwreck, all right. Not much more to say about it, I guess. Papa Joris used to tell me, Losa, he'd say. Losa, you ever find yourself in a sinking ship, follow the rats. They'll find you a way out. Applies to a lot of situations, actually. Vermin tend to know what's what. I've given a few shows around Reaper's Coast. Might be you saw a poster or a flyer. Might be you even heard about the... Well, I was giving this concert up on Overlook, but I guess it was too good. I had me a little sauce flare-up. Everyone went... I snapped out of it before anyone got hurt, but the Magisters caught me backstage afterwards. Really? Are you hospitable too? Ha! What I mean is, look, you've never been a host, right? That's 'cause you're... But I'm a roadside inn. Red door, flowers out front, friendly lady, like a goddamn gold star inn for the disembodied. Now, isn't that just the question of the hour? I can't be sure just yet. I'll be surprised if it's a demon. Definitely not a sprite either. Maybe. So, how are you enjoying the joy? Yeah? I was just thinking the same sort of thing. So, you want to check this place out together? Strength in numbers and all that. It does, right? Before we head out, I've got more than a few tricks up my... Lately, I've been into the enchanting arts, but I can shoot, slash, summon, steal, whatever your little black heart desires. So, what'll it be? Sounds fine. So, yeah? Well, that was easier than I thought.
Bow your head, please! If we chant the endless prayer, the next divine will ascend. Even... It isn't the words you speak, but haven't you heard? Bishop Alexander, the divines do not doubt that he will come into his...
Lucian. A fine fellow he was, I admit. Showed me conjuring tricks at dinner parties when I was but a boy.
The shrine depicts Lucian the Divine, avatar of the 7 gods. It does not react.
Shrine, by the looks of...
The shrine a low, resonant vibration. Your knees buckle. The hum grows.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much. Leave him be. Don't make me say it again.
Listen, I can help you if you just...
Shut up, elf. This clown? Caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Sound like someone you'd let off with a slap on the wrist. Supplies? Crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. All I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my kitchen. Bring back my crate, and you got
An elf, caked in mud.
You believe what he says? That I am perceptive. Like most men behind bars, I'm innocent. Like most of us here on the island, in fact. Aren't you like me? I do. But you guess I need something too. I know a way out. I show you. And you? Finally, Griff releases me if he sees I do not have. After I am free, you are free. I intend no harm. I want only some provisions. But you understand. Griff is a powerful man. I see no one. In fact, I only hear the sound of Griff clearing. Thank you.
The old dog looks up at you but doesn't lift his greying head from his paws. He heaves a heavy... The tip of his tail starts to wag.
I'm Buddy. It's no use anyway.
The dog tentatively sniffs the offering, then grabs it between its teeth and swallows it.
You're nice. Emmy would have loved you. She was my mate for the last 7, carry the 2, plus 50. 5 years! The Magisters, they took her. I love you. Say, let me show you something.
Good find.
The dog focuses at the cat at your feet. The cat's eyes are cloud... Amid the squalor of Fort Joy, you suddenly spot an elf with dice. She was the one who sat rolling dice in the ship that went under. Her eyes are focused on a lizard some distance away. And you get the distinct feeling he's an unfortunate man indeed to be trapped in her tiger-like gaze. No sooner have these words left your mouth than she turns about and grabs you in a stranglehold. You feel the tip of a long needle being pushed a little ways in...
You caught me off guard. No one catches me off guard. Better tell me who you really are, or this a prince of the House of Slavers. You've just signed your...
A push, a pivot, and now you suddenly face her. The needle despite the precariousness of your situation, you notice something that remained undetected in the gloom of the ship.
It's dawning on you, isn't it? Why I hate reptiles like you. But I do, master, with the heat of...
She drives the needle in deeper and whispers.
In truth, it does not matter in the least who you really are. You saw me mark my prey. You could warn him. That makes you a liability. That makes you needle feed. Never. You're a slaver, Prince. Why would I chain my fate to one like you freely, like I was once forced to? I hate to say it, but you make sense, fork tongue. Oh, little needle mine, what should I do? Push? You know what? Today is a rather fine day. I'm not quite sure the weather will save him.
With a casual flick of the wrist, she withdraws the needle from your neck and smiles.
Let's discuss our respective roles then, shall we? You, me, and Death will be playing many a round of hide and seek. So, As a rogue, my speciality is stealth. Suits me fine. Then follow me. But wait, you seem to have quite a few followers already.
Are you certain you want to dismiss your companion?
Oh, really now? Well, well, well. I guess this makes us mortal enemies. For now, at least.
What took you so long?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any...
A single name throbs across your brain. Verdas, Verdas, Verdas! He must escape. He cannot die here. He cannot! As the dead man's flesh slides down your throat, you feel his consciousness enter yours. Your heart is heavy. You know too much. It's all too much. A bright light blinds you, then fades. You feel a tremendous power in your hands, but suddenly you're on this very ship, crouched in a corner, hugging your knees. A figure approaches, an older woman. She reaches a hand toward you. You grasp it. The memories end. You are no longer Finn. You return to yourself with a...
Am I awake? I think I need a pinch. Oh, no. Hang on. It's you. They said you'd be red, but I didn't think so.
So very red. Oh, yes. Of course you have, Prince of Princes. Yes, indubitably. I need to parley with you. My apologies, Prince. I'll be better being suddenly roused startled me. Swept between sleep and awakening, I could not be certain that it is you. All rugged and ragged. How the mighty have fallen. Ascension. Ah, just the word. The they I spoke of, O Majesty. I see you in my wondrous foggy fantasies, sire. They speak to me. But there are those that oppose the change. There are those that want you quite dead. I do not know. I cannot say. Myself without guts would mean yourself without glory, Your Majesty. See, this is the very X in the crux of the capital M matter, Prince. What we must speak of is very delicate. What we must speak of is what I must know. I do not know when I'm awake. What I must tell you out in the great sleep. And an honor it will be, Your Highness. All we need to do is close our eyes and let sleep take us by the hand. Then we shall meet in the great realm of dreams, where the whispers will reach me, and through me their words will, like slapping a king cobra whose sister you just addressed with a vulgar epithet. But we will only walk its outer edge, I assure you. There really is no need to worry. There's one little... Dear me, this is frightfully embarrassing for a dreamer to say, but, I want to aid you, of course, my lord. Indeed, I need to aid you. But I am in just as desperate a need of... No, it is not wine that makes me dream. The leaf that enlightens. Trudene. Should I partake of the leaf, Prince, we will both know what it is the spirit of sleep wants us to tell you. I would have, truly. But what little of the leaf I have, I stole it. They think it was an elf that did it, a Myro. They locked him in a cage. I'm torn, Your Highness. I should return the Drudene and set the elf free, but I really, really want to dream and see. Hand it over?
Stingtail digs into his pocket, and with the sulking look of a child surrendering its hard-earned candy, he hands you...
The Drudene's inside the oranges, Prince.
As you're about to walk away from the lizard, Sabine cups your chin between thumb and index finger. Then...
Listen, I need to have a chat with this here morsel of flesh. He has wronged me once, but may just do right by me this...
To your surprise, Sabine proceeds to throttle the unsuspecting lizard with one hand as she drives the tip of her needle into his You hear him yelp about the master, lone wolves, and a man called... Then, quite suddenly, there's blood everywhere as Stingtail falls to the ground. Sabine heaves a sigh of satisfaction, and as she wipes her needle clean...
Chat's over.
That seems just a tad excessive.
Damnable nuisance.
What you witnessed was an exercise in restraint, and jolly good fun to boot. Something on your mind? It's simple. He scarred me, so I scarred him. Extends.
She defies you with devilishly innocent...
Can you blame me? Justice tends to be. Anyway, what's dead is done, so let's move on, shall we? The search for the master continues, of course. Hungry one. Stingtail mentioned a cook, as it happens.
I think this was the crate I was after. Looks like someone made off with most of the contents, though.
Save your spirit to fight the Reaper. Frightfully busy at the moment, love. Haven't got any liquor on hand, have you? This fella could use a little comfort. Well, what a swollen swine you are. This fella won't accept the heat. Poor fella over there crossed one of Griff's card sharks and got a club to the skull. Don't be lucky you came out of it at all. Plenty of folks around of here.
Oh, out my face. Them scales won't save you. I'll punch your lights out.
He smacks your hand away, refusing.
You're trying to kill me, ain't you? Git! Those bleeding fools think they run the place. But I showed them. Sure. First, always win. It's your ugly...
Our healer's walk is never done. Unless everyone's dead, of course.
Is that thing eating corpses?
The creature heaves through lips gummed with human gore. It turns to you with great effort.
You. Quite lost? Now, a little query. Where grows the yarrow? Quickly now, for I haven't much time.
The creature gingerly takes the plant into his bloodied hands. He runs his fingertips over the white flowers.
Darling, dear darling child. Hello.
The creature clenches the plant tightly. His breath quickens.
You wouldn't understand. A father's pride, a father's love.
The creature begins to weep. Fast, silent tears spill from his eyes as he clutches the little cluster of flowers to his heart.
For you, my ring, part of me, name of Migo. You, go. Told you, didn't I? They crossed my wires, hammer goes clang. Name of Migo, come out of Arx. My daughter's a magister. Clang, clang, horrible old sadist. Filled... It's been too long, my dear. Pretty. Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much.
Sabine gently places a hand on the small of your bag.
Let me have a word with the gentleman, would you? I've a little clue to follow up on. Come now. No such thing need happen here, provided this man can be reasoned with.
Sabine steps forward and asks Griff the cook about the lone wolves. A dead little birdie told her he's the man to talk to. A little back and forth ensues. Money crosses hands, and before you know it, Sabine stands back beside you.
Thank you. We should make good on our escape, you know. I have to see a man about a wolf in the Hollow Marshes. Did I disappoint you? Oh, but don't worry. I might... Zalaskar's his name. A name for the taking.
Griff glances from his blade to you, and...
You already know the terms. Nothing else to say. Spare the indignation and hand it over. Now. I ain't gonna ask again. Hand it. Good boy. Looks like everything's accounted for. Now the important question. Who's the thief?
He raises an eyebrow.
Looks like someone did my job for me. Your guy's free to go. He should be...
It is done. And quickly. I hold my end of the bargain. I show you the way out. But I have something more to ask of you. Yes, Sahela. She is everything. A ruler, a seer. It is for all our people. Give me your map.
I give you this amulet. You must pass it to the elves who still remain. Tell them Sahela.
I go to her.
Don't tell anyone where you got this, eh?
Keep it down, will ya?
I only mean that if you think about it logically, she's much better off.
Leave it, Sam.
Please, excuse her.
You're talking to me, not him, Sam.
Oh, for the love of Lucian, Balladeer.
Say it again. What you said about my wife. Go piss off. Go on, Sam.
Well, it's the truth, and you know it. She's better off. So what if it was messy? I'd rather puke myself to...
A flat smile twitches across Balladeer's lips.
She never did like you.
The man looks for a moment at the corpse at his feet, then turns back toward the nearly finished coffin, bloodied hammer in hand.
A duel? Where do you think you are, snake-face? Palace grounds? But if it's a good...
warned you, didn't I? Red, they said. Red, then dead. Them that pay the bills, of course. I'll be a rich man. Time's up, Your Highness. Let's... It's stabbing time. I'll yield to none.
mine.
Hurts, doesn't it?
The cat's eyes, it appears confused, and...
Here you are. I wonder what keeps you. Tell me your tale. Ah, your tongue is not my tongue. Elves speak of here and now, not then and when. These words strike us strangely. Start from the beginning. Start from where you come. I see, I see. Now tell me I understand. Now tell me how your story ends. You speak fiercely. You speak without fear. You are a warrior. Power comes from strength, and strength comes from growth. These seeds sprout. So does the... It is nothing. Many fragments swirl on my...
The woman looks out on the gently lapping waves.
Haven't seen you around here before. New? A prince, no less. You here alone, Sir Prince?
She gives you a long look.
You've got a sharp tongue. Seems to me I hear a whole lot of bitterness. You think twice about facing this mean world alone, eh? Some of us haven't got anyone at all anymore. It's nothing. It used to be I had a family. Then they brought us here. I couldn't stop them from taking my boys from me when they did. Now I'm just waiting for him to call my name. Wait, poor fella. Can't imagine such...
She looks out over the waves.
Don't we make for a fine couple? Here I am pining over my family. Here you are pining over yours.
Her eyes sparkle.
Kind of you to ask. Stefan, he was my little one. Smart as a whip and no less...
She talks for some time about birthdays, about feeling joy radiates from her as she...
What a gift to think of them. I'd like to give something to you too. Take care of yourself.
Come on, you stubborn hunk of...
The dwarf's fingers clamp around a splintered chunk of wood nailed to the skeleton of an old ship.
Ah! Wouldn't you like to know?
The dwarf spits into each of his calloused palms and rubs them together.
Bleeding nail must be charmed or something. Yeah. Go on then. Why don't you...
You grab the plank and pull. The rusted nail pops loose, and the plank promptly crumbles to pieces in your hand.
Oh, look at that. Nice of you to finish the job after I... loosen.
He winks and flips a gold coin toward you. It makes a long, high arc.
For your trouble. No, but I'd hoped to build something with it that would be worth 1,000. Yeah, we're a fool's...
He sucks a finger and holds it up to the wind.
Winds like these, she would have capsized before she reached the break. Well, on to plan.
He gives you a wry look.
Aye, was planning to build me a raft and paddle off. I've got business. Maybe you...
He stands before you and pokes you.
There's something of you, you know? You don't have to. Why don't we make a deal then? You help me get out of this place. It's this.
He lifts an invisible cap.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. The names may have been cast out, but you can bet your last heel of breed she wishes she hadn't have. I've taken my revenge 1,000-fold on that tyrant's fleet. A case? A whole orchard more. No sense getting riled up about it now. Anyhow, we're a team now, so the me is... Let's get down to brass tacks. I've been up and down the realm so often it'd make your cabbage spin, and I've picked up a few tricks. Then it's settled. Capital. Aye, but it seems you've no room for...
Coloured like a dog. A very pink, very long dog. I'd pity you, but Shakra the Ineffable has no patience for weakness. Insult! You should be honoured that I would even talk to you. I am the most powerful sorcerer to have ever scuttled upon this shore. Yes, I'm surrounded by inferior creatures, none of whom recognize my greatness. This power is my birthright, same as yours, but one of us has grown to astounding heights and the other has sunken to depths too humiliating to describe. Sorcerers dance while magisters pull the strings. Fools all! But of course, they'll happily dump your maggot-ridden corpse into the sea when they're through with you. Ha! Of course, precious. But which is worse, the cure or the disease?
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe. As she catches sight of you, recognition flashes in her terrified eyes.
Ben Nest! Ifan! Ben Nest! You killed them! You killed them! He killed them all! Murderer! Keep him away from me! Help! Somebody! Keep him away! It's getting... Stay back. Stay back. Keep that monster Ben Nest away from me.
The woman looks up as you approach, wiping her brow with a grease-blackened hand.
What do you need? Ha! The hammer got you curious. Oh, I dunno. She was a sweet... People do change.
She nods once.
Clever lasser. No wonder what Alexander sees in her. Question is, what she... By all means, get an eyeful.
The woman looks up as...
What do you need? Ha! The hammer got you curious.
She nods.
Clever lasser. No wonder... Oh, I dunno. People do change, don't they?
Enjoy your stay, snake.
The Magister doesn't... As you approach the unsmiling Magister, Ifan catches your arm and speaks...
I need to talk to this one for a few moments.
Ifan strides up to the Magister, speaking in a calm and controlled voice.
I'll give you the...
Ifan walks back to you, leaving the quivering wreck of a Magister. Ifan catches you looking...
Oh, it's just practice. All in the way you set your jaw, lad. I'll teach you some. I only do it when it's necessary. And it was necessary back there. He wanted me to kill someone. I didn't want to kill them. Being a little impolite seemed the least. That's about the size of it for me, all right.
After reading the scrap of paper he took from the Magister, Ifan marks a spot...
Tired of the view in here yet?
Ifan tips his fingers to his...
little reprieve from the din outside.
The Red Demon. The exiled pig. I'd heard they'd sent you here, but I'd hoped you'd have drowned yourself before crossing my path. Bow before pigs and you'll be stained with mud. I do not bow before pigs. Get away from me, pig.
This is very good. Sahela is all right. I still protect her. Thank you. Fate is like this. She joins the needs of one and the wants of another. I am very weak now. And she is very special. She sees how we will survive. The Void Woken, the dead divine, all of luck to you.
No one tells me there are so many children in An Elf Lives Forever. If she stays away from spears and fire.
She breaks into a huge
One friend brings another home. Thank you.
Her face falls at the mention of her home. Her hands fly instinctively to her eyes.
My people, I miss them. But they cannot save me. It is not to be. We stay in Fort Joy. Yes, it is a deep hurt. In my tribe, we say, the heart lit. Thank you, my friend. But only you survive the... Thank you, dear one.
She squeezes your hand.
I do not forget you.
We have help. We survive. And soon we leave.
I know I trust them well. I know I trust them well.
Thank you for your help with that, thug. No doubt he turns on you next.
She bows.
In this cave, I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through. Through the Magisters, through their cure. Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you. Thank you.
I know I trust them well. Whoever kills the other is the boss! You're cheating!
You cover your face with your hands. You've just heard the news. The elven homelands have been destroyed by death fog. It was your order who did it.
Something isn't right here. It could be an ambush.